In Lords of the Fallen, unlocking boss items is a lot easier than you might think, but you do have to capture a couple different things. One is remembrances, and also a particular bowl called a Bowl of Remembrances, ironically. I'm going to quickly show you how you can do that. So let's get into it. Now, of course, before you can get any of the items from these big boss fights is actually getting these remembrances. Now, the remembrances are going to be from bigger boss fights or from the colossal bosses as they're categorizing it inside of Lords of the Fallen. These boss fights, called the colossal boss fights, isn't going to be every single boss that you fight. It's going to be very particular ones, essentially the large bosses, aka the colossal bosses. Things that are really larger than life, such as Pieta when you first meet her and she's 3 times your size, or the Congregator of Flesh where it's a giant man-eating monster that's, again, probably 5 times your size. So those are the kind of bosses that you're more than likely going to get these remembrances from. But if you want to double check a boss, go into the Umbral Realm and look for a cutscene, one of those kind of like memory images that you see after big boss fights like the Pieta boss fights, and you'll be able to get a remembrance from that more than likely. Don't quote me on that. And these remembrances inside the Umbral Realm after these boss fights are kind of scattered. They're not going to be exactly where you defeated them or right in the center of the area. You're going to have to go into the Umbral Realm and kind of look around a little bit. So just a little word of warning, they're not all going to be super easy to see. Most of them are, but just a fair warning, you might want to look around a little bit. And these memories will look pretty much like this one that I'm showing you here after the Pieta boss fight when she's looking towards the gate. You're going to have a little cutscene of kind of how they came to be the monster that they are, kind of give you the backstory of how it became to be a colossal boss fight in and of itself. You're going to find vestiges and memories kind of similar to this one, obviously all a little different depending on the boss that you're fighting. And after a certain amount of time listening to this memory, you're going to have Umbral Scouring items as well as their unique item that goes into your key item slot as I'm showing you here. For Pieta, it's the Remembrance She of Blessed Renewal. This is going to be the item that you can bring to a certain location inside of the tower to unlock her items. And all these remembrances are a little more flavored toward the actual boss that you just killed, which I definitely think is a nice touch, adds unique flavor, and it's really the little things. And this is one of those little things that really stands out to me about Lords of the Fallen, is the touch to detail on things. But now that you have some remembrances that you want, I want you to warp to the Bell Room location and follow the pathing that I'm showing you here. Now, it's going to be inside of a very early on area in the game, but also still filled with a lot of different monsters that can easily destroy you if you want to. But again, follow the pathing that I'm showing you here to get to the location where you have to go into the Umbral Realm, down the ladder where you have a giant platform filled with a bunch of different monsters, where a smaller vestige will be. You need to scour and take care of some of the enemies around it, but this item that will be scoured is going to be some Umbral Scourings and also the Bowl of Revelations. The Bowl of Revelations is the item that you absolutely need to be able to cash in all your different remembrances and get those boss items from your fights. And now with the Bowl of Remembrances in your possession, you can make your way back to Skyrest and follow the pathing to where I am showing you here, which is going to be a spookier room where you have to go into the Umbral Realm where you see our 4-armed friend. This man is going to be the person that you can buy a whole bunch of different items from that are more on the Umbral side, bunch of different spells, but this is also who is going to allow you to get your remembrances and all the different items that come along with this. A nice little note around this as well, before you start looking into some of these remembrances and boss items, you are going to need Umbral Scourings, which you had seen a little bit inside of this video from the different boss fights, the different scourings, and also from getting the Bowl of Remembrances. These little items are what you're going to be able to use to purchase all these different items from these different boss fights as I'm showing you here. So Pieta's sword is going to cost you 40 Umbral Scourings. Her spell where she makes duplicates of herself is going to be 10 Umbral Scourings. So it really depends what you want to do and what you want to purchase from all these different scourings. And every single one of these are going to be very unique to the boss that you had defeated. So for Pieta, it's going to be her armor, her signature sword, and her signature spell. Now for the Congregator of Flesh, it's going to be some of the disgusting stuff that he dropped on top of you during the middle of a fight, and basically one of the weapons that he used against you, which was his arm. Essentially you're using his finger, which is the Relic Spear. But finding this particular set of items is how you're going to be able to unlock all these different boss items from these colossal boss fights. Now obviously this is going to be a smaller list than all the different items you can get and all the boss fights that you have inside this game, but I hope this made your life a lot easier than it did for me. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll catch you on the next video.